what you do if the engine quits from a hover. Rolling my throttle back up. A little bit of left pedal as I pick it up. And Tower 201 Tango Bravo's in the grass here by the jury hangar. I'd like to slide over to Foxtrot Taxiway just to do a couple slide-on hovering autos.
That's approved.
Alright, so guess what? Helicopters will fly backwards too, so they just back this thing up. Mosey on back. We'll do a Texas mosey on the way back here. Get back to here. Now we're going to slide over to the right. Here to Foxtrot Taxiway. Alright, so let's say that we've just picked the aircraft up. Sneak on up this way a little bit. Let's say that we've just picked the aircraft up and we're transitioning out to takeoff. And then we have a power loss. Well, it's just like a hovering auto, so to speak. The most important thing is to keep the skids level. Do not try to flare. Alright, so we're sneaking along like this, and uh-oh, there went the engine. There we go. Up on the collective. Just slide it on. And use your feet. Again, you have yaw control left or right. And you just wait for the thing to quit sliding. And all the way down on the collective. Alright, I'm going to pick it back up again. I'm going to turn a little bit to the left, make sure nobody's behind me. That doesn't look like it. Alright, we just back up down the old taxiway here again. Alright, so again, let's go ahead and set the aircraft down. We'll kind of simulate what would happen if we lost the engine as we just started our hover. Our hover taxi or just started our departure. Alright, so we're on the ground, pick the aircraft up, and we start moving forward, and there goes the engine. Oh, lost the engine. Coming up, just sliding on. Using your feet to control the yaw, a little bit of left pedal, a little bit of right stick. And just like a full down auto, we're just going to wait for it to quit sliding. And there you go. What you do not want to do, if the engine quits, and you're in a hover taxi, and the engine quits, do not try to flare. If you try to, boy, I'll tell you what, the fixed wing guys are, when they start flying helicopters, they're bad about that. Wanting to flare the air, quote unquote, flare the aircraft if it settles in. You don't want to do that, because if you touch down on the back of the skids and you get to this thing where you're going front skid, back skid, and rocking, you can actually get the master rocking and end up getting the blades into the tailboom, chopping the tailboom off. So just like an auto rotation, when you touch down in an auto rotation, you have got to have the skids level. All right. So in a hovering auto rotation, it's not, again, I'm old, I still call them hovering autos. In a hovering auto rotation, when you touch down like that, you still, again, got to have those skids level. Take a little look behind us here. Nobody back there. Go and sneak her back. Take another look as we slide back. Nobody back there. We'll keep on coming back. Alright, so one more time here. I'll set her down. Simulate an engine loss on takeoff, where we're only going, I don't know, for display purposes, we're only sliding about 20 miles an hour, 15, whatever. So we'll set the aircraft down. Notice when I sit down, it sits down on the back of the skids first, then comes down. Again, that's because I'm the only one in the aircraft, so things tend to fly quite nose high if you're it, Alright, we'll go ahead and pick it back up, and we start moving forward. We're going to transition out of here, and engine goes. We'll roll it down. There you go. Right pedal up on the skids, and we're on the ground. And we just wait for it to quit sliding. All right, once it quits sliding, down with the collective. All the way up with the throttle. Bring in a little left pedal. Governor will take it when it gets to 80, brings you right up to 100%. All right, let's do a few, let's try a few slope landings here. As I'm going to back up again, let's look behind us as we're sliding backwards, looking back. And I got nobody behind me. Oh, sneaking on backwards. All right, so coming in for a slope landings. All right, so this little, next to the taxiway here, just to the left of the taxiway, pretty darn good slope. It looks like somebody's got a Gatorade bottle down there. That's not good. And we'll sneak on up a little farther. So when you come in to do a slope landing, all right, got a rhetorical question for you. When people roll aircraft, roll the helicopters up, from dynamic rollover on the slope, do they roll it up the hill or down the hill? Yep, up the hill. Because what they'll do is they'll trap this right skid. And then if you make the mistake when that skid is trapped and you come up on the collective, you can roll it. It'll snap right over and that's it. So, all right, on a slope landing, you try to get the aircraft right over the spot where you want to land. You got to slowly sneak down with the collective. There you go, I got my right skid is on the ground. I can slowly let the collective down. There we go. So this is about as much slope really as you want to put a helicopter on now. So now, when you pick it back up, I basically have the stick parallel to the earth, basically straight up down relative to the earth. As I'm coming up on the collective, that skid starts to lift a little bit. And we can step away kind of at a 45-degree angle, get away from our slope. The unforgiven sin is to, when you're sitting here next to a slope like that, is to let that tail come around like that and get over there by the slope, because you can get your tail right into the slope and hook it, and that is not good. So, okay, so again, we're coming in our slope landing. We just kind of sneak over to the spot where we want to be. Let's say it's about right here. The aircraft in a nice little hover. You can tell it's pretty windy today. Winds are kind of gusty and ugly looking out here today. So now, we'll just slowly come down with this collective. That right skid will come in contact right about there. Got the right skid on. Let's say I'm just balancing on that right skid. If I was to come up aggressively or just even a little bit on the collective right now, it'll snap over to the right. I'm going to come down on my collective, and we're on the slope. And again, this is about as much slope as you want to land on, right? So now I got my stick up and down relative to the earth, straight up and down. Coming up on my collective, you'll see the left skid will start to the left. It's coming up, and we're sneaking away from the slope. All right, let's back up again, try that one more time. Get over your spot. Taking it down nice and slowly. It's going to touch right about now. Slowly down with the collective. We're on the slope. That's it. Now, I'm going to come down a little more with the collective here. Now, what you don't want to do is put an excessive amount of side stick in there. And that's why I say I line the stick up with the earth, all right? Up and down.